Thanksgiving, a time filled with mountains of delicious food, spending quality time with loved ones, and here at our household, playing some goddamn video games!
Absolutely! Now, if I've learned anything from Bob's Burgers, it's that Thanksgiving can be one of the best holidays out there. It's a time that highlights the expressing of gratitude, the peak of the harvest season, and the conclusion of summer as we welcome in winter.
I'm JComX.
And I'm Lexington.
If you're watching this channel, odds are you love video games, and we do too. Since our childhoods, video games have brought us endless amounts of fun, challenge, and good memories, even, and sometimes especially, when life seems bleak.
We realize that playing video games isn't exactly going to change the world. After all, they are a luxury item, and we're extremely fortunate that we have the means and ability to even play them, which makes it all the more important for us to take the time to show our appreciation.
So join us this holiday season as we look at some of the aspects of video games that we're most thankful for. Just like a Thanksgiving feast needs a turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing, we're gonna offer you a plate of video game gratitude to feast upon. Emotionally, of course.
We've cooked up 8 different dishes of gratitude tonight, each one corresponding with a traditional Thanksgiving food item. And where better to begin than with the most classic of Thanksgiving food, turkey. In the same way that turkey makes the foundation of most Thanksgiving meals, video game developers and composers form the basis of any video game. Without these people giving time and effort and sometimes their own money, none of these video games that we love so much would even be possible.
Whether it's a AAA game studio with hundreds of developers or an army of one working away tirelessly on their passion project, we are thankful to all video game developers for their work and dedication to bringing these games to us. In our modern consumerist world full of corporate greed and cynical game studio decisions, it's easy to forget that on the ground floor are just regular people, often with just as much passion for video games as you or I, who are typically overworked and underpaid for their efforts, only for it to all be scrapped the next day and start over.
As JComX has talked about in a lot of his videos, making video games is hard work. It requires creativity, problem solving, many different skill sets, working in tandem together for the same goal. Our hearts go out to the game developers who have spent tireless and hungry nights and days grinding away to hit deadlines, as well as those who have had great experiences and a much easier time with it.
Whether you love meat or you're a staunch vegan, one of the most universally loved foods at Thanksgiving has got to be the mashed potatoes. Depending on who you ask, it's either the first or second most important thing to have. And just as developers are the bedrock of video games, playing video games would be hollow if not slathered in gravy. I mean, without the ability to share them with others. I'm sure we've all experienced a time when we bonded with someone over a casual round of Mario Kart at a party, or stood side by side with a stranger at an arcade, or simply having a conversation with someone about a game you both enjoy. Video games act like a bridge between people that can help us gain insight into each other.
As with all art, people can experience the same video game in a variety of ways. And one of the great joys of playing a game is talking with someone about the similarities and differences of your playthroughs. It might take one person 3 days to solve a particular puzzle, while it takes the next person 2 minutes. But it's no secret, people love talking about their favorite video games.
There have been times when I've played through a game that I've really enjoyed but had nobody to share the experience with. While some games offer deeply personal experiences, and there's value in playing a game even if you can't always share that with someone, for me, half of the reason why I enjoy playing games, even single-player games, comes from the ability to share that experience with other people, either in person or online.
The prevalence of online communities dedicated to individual games is the perfect example. I'm sure that even the most staunch of gaming introverts will dabble in online discussions about their favorite video games. That's why we express gratitude for the capacity of video games in bringing people together, making bonds, learning new things together, and making positive memories with each other.
I'd argue that the most Thanksgiving-y out of all of the Thanksgiving fare is stuffing. Turkey is often eaten year-round. From turkey sandwiches to Christmas dinner, and mashed potatoes are a common side dish. But when I think of stuffing, I think of Thanksgiving. And just like Thanksgiving needs stuffing, video games need music.
Music can be one of the most essential, yet most forgotten aspects of what makes video games great. An iconic game's soundtrack can be imprinted in someone's brain for a lifetime. The Donkey Kong Country games are perfect examples to me of video game music that is as integral to the game as anything else. David Weiss's compositions have a vast range of emotions and sounds, from the atmospheric beautiful and melancholic, to the jazzy, to the cheerful and bouncy. These songs hold such a cherished place in my heart, and they're undoubtedly a big part of why myself and so many people love these games.
Video game music has become just as emotionally powerful and resonant as that of films and studio albums. Lexington and I had the opportunity to see a live performance of music from the Legend of Zelda series. Hearing Koji Kondo's music in such a large auditorium, surrounded by other people, so beautifully rendered by the performers, overwhelmed me with emotions. That's when I realized just how much I'd been taking video game music for granted.
We've grown up with these songs. They've practically become part of who we are. Music is one of the things that, listening to it can transport you right back to a certain place and time in your life.
Xenoblade Chronicles music evokes thoughts of vast and epic landscapes. Silent Hill embodies the sounds of depression and apathy. Title theme and cover art personify a fantasy childhood innocence.
The island bathes in the sun's bright rays, distant hills were a shroud of gray.
The range of video game compositions is nearly limitless.
This entire video could be dedicated to the wonderful music of video games, and it still wouldn't do it justice. We offer gratitude to all of the video game composers that have filled our lives with such beautiful music, creating such cherished memories.
While delicious, stuffing alone does not a Thanksgiving feast make. There must be drinks! While your drink of choice may differ, for us, it's wine. It matters less whether it's bottled or boxed, red or white, chilled or not, than if it's tasty and facilitates a good time. The same could be said about a video game's art direction and storytelling.
Video games come in a variety of visual styles, ranging from the cel-shaded brilliance of The Legend of Zelda's Wind Waker to the rubber hose-inspired hand-drawn animation of Cuphead. The art style of video games is where so much of a game's identity, charm, and appeal is derived.
Shadow of the Colossus stands as one of my all-time favorite examples of storytelling in a video game. Barely any context is given to why you're playing through this game. You only know that you have entered this forbidden land to slay gigantic beasts in order to hopefully save your loved one from death. My imagination runs wild as I travel through this region, asking myself what makes it so forbidden? How ancient are these megalithic ruins and who made them? What are the Colossi and why does it feel so bad to kill them? That's why I regard Shadow of the Colossus as true art, as it's through the gameplay itself that the story and experience are told, and much of that is simply up to the interpretation of the player.
On the other hand, you have incredible and evocative storytelling, such as in The Last of Us, which weaves together a string of core human emotions we all feel, like love, fear, the need to survive, woven into a shawl riddled with unfortunate events, plague, dire loss, desperation, and deep sadness, with its emphasis on human interaction and dialogue, both of which occurred during moments of cinematics and in-game conversation. The story of this game will leave you to confront the sorrows of its characters, their desires, and their flaws, and hopefully through it all, you'll come out of the experience wanting to become a better person yourself.
Similarly, Earthbound, BioShock, Metroid, Yoshi's Island, and countless others have unique stories or art styles that stick with us long after we've put the controller down. As artists ourselves, we would be remiss if we didn't also offer our gratitude for the many memorable art styles and stories that video games have brought to our lives.
Pass the cranberry sauce! I love cranberry sauce. It is a must-have at any Thanksgiving that I'm going to, okay? Whether it's homemade or from a can, these bittersweet berries are delicious when paired with turkey and stuffing, and it just complements the rest of the meal. That bittersweetness reminds me of the sweet reward that comes from engaging in difficult, challenging games.
Most gaming fans know all too well the frustration and pain that comes from playing through a challenging section of a game. Brain-scratching puzzles, infuriating platforming challenges, seemingly unwinnable battles. Video games can give us some of the most bitter feelings to deal with, but all of that can evaporate instantly once you overcome an obstacle and it's replaced with the sweet euphoria of dopamine.
This last October, I finally decided to begin my first FromSoft game, Dark Souls. And boy oh boy, is it ever a sheer delight. I love the way this game lays out everything I need to progress, all without spoon-feeding it to me. They don't tell me anything hardly at all. I am left to my own devices as I struggle to explore, creeping around every corner with utmost caution. Every enemy is a mountain. My understanding grows as I learn their ways, and through grind after grind, death after death, struggle after struggle, I finally master their feeble sword swings and finally have a piece of victory. But if I become complacent in body and mind whatsoever, I will falter every time. Like a warrior, I must live every moment observant and ready to counter.
The Halloween season also prompted me to start my first FromSoft game as well, though I chose Bloodborne, which better suits my horror tastes. It combined the minimalist storytelling I loved from Shadow of the Colossus with the unflinching brutality of Ninja Gaiden, and I f***ing love it. Thankfully, I knew it was going to be difficult, and thanks to our Soulsborne Sherpa friends, I knew that with enough tenacity, I could overcome any challenge. The frustration was overwhelming at times, and I rage quit more than once. Some bosses took multiple days to beat. I'm looking at you, Father Gascoigne. But sure enough, I would always come out on top and feel that rush of triumph, only for the game to essentially bash me in the head with a cleaver as the next boss made it feel like I'd made no progress at all.
All of this to say, we appreciate the challenge and difficulty video games provide. They teach us things like problem-solving skills, spatial awareness, patience, and they test your reaction skills. People want to overcome challenges and obstacles, and we're thankful to video games for providing a fun and safe environment where we can do that.
It's easy to go overboard on Thanksgiving. Most of us overindulge just a little bit too much in that meaty, buttery, sugary goodness. So it's important to add in a few vegetables to at least attempt to balance things out. Gaming is typically associated with lethargy and addiction, and for good reason. But there have been times when video games have also helped to promote healthy habits.
Of all the video game companies, Nintendo has made the most strides to promote healthy living through the years.
The Wii Sports series was one of Nintendo's first attempts to get families off the couch and onto their feet and physically interacting with the game. Most people probably didn't shed too many pounds while playing, but it also led to more directly health-oriented games, like the Wii Fit series.
One of our favorite video game health journeys was with Nintendo's Ring Fit adventure on the Nintendo Switch. We learned about this game sometime around 2020, and being the Nintendo nerds we are, we thought it'd be a fun way to kick off a new health spree. Little did we know this game would kick our ass!
Ring Fit is no joke. If you commit, this game will make you sweat. It's definitely a workout, but it gamifies your workout routine with RPG elements. Enemies have different colors, which correspond to different types of workouts, like red for arms, yellow for core, and blue for legs. If your attack color matches the enemy color, it does more damage.
I have to say, the longevity of Ring Fit is really impressive. I played this for over a year, and it did not feel like it was getting stale, at all. It kept up making things fresh, and, I was able to, really get some good workouts and develop my own balance with it. Even though we don't really use it as much these days, it absolutely put us on a path to be more health-oriented and less intimidated to try new things.
I also want to point out another way games lead to healthy living. Persona 5 is split into two sections. One is dungeon exploration and combat, while the other is more about deepening your personal relationships and honing your skills. That includes things like your charm, knowledge, and courage. You can study to increase your knowledge, or spend time with a friend to become closer, or you can choose to spend the whole day infiltrating a palace. But you can't do all three. You only have a limited amount of time, so the game forces you to prioritize which stats you want to build up. While playing through the game, I began thinking about my real life in a similar way. I only have a certain amount of time each day, so I can choose to spend an hour taking a walk, working on a video, or making some food. But I can't do everything, and I don't want to fall behind on any one of them for too long. It led me to more balanced decision making in my life.
Of course, video games can only take you so far, and at the end of the day, you need to be the one who decides to make the changes. Nevertheless, we're grateful for video games' ability to promote healthy living.
After you're done pretending to be healthy with a serving of collard greens, it's time to dig into a heaping spoonful of one of America's favorite comfort foods, mac and cheese. Obviously, you can see the comparison to video games there.
There is nothing quite like cozying up in your favorite blanket and spending some time working on your town in Animal Crossing. Visiting the villagers, doing some chores, maybe some terraforming, or maybe the whole time you just interior decorate. Either way, it's all just so peaceful and relaxing, and it's a nice way to de-stress after a rough day. Just listen to some KK music for a while, maybe. It's so easy to spend hours getting lost in your own little Zen garden.
Some of the comfort of video games also comes from the nostalgia you feel while replaying an old favorite. Games like Super Mario Bros. 3, Banjo-Tooie, Majora's Mask, or the original Pokemon always bring me back to a time of childhood innocence and imagination, where the possibilities were endless.
For me, it's games like Sly 2 Band of Thieves and Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, Super Mario World, Link to the Past, and Advance Wars. They all give me that same nostalgic glow. It feels like I'm coming home in a way. And every time they bring out a new installment of a series, it taps right back into that, and it's so nice.
We're definitely filled with the warm and cheesy gratitude for the comfort and nostalgia we get when playing video games.
Bed of the towel on these rides. Mine on the road, your dilated eyes. Watch the clouds float white for us.
Oh man, I am so emotionally full of gratitude right now. I couldn't possibly eat another bite.
Same here. I feel like I'm full to bursting and I couldn't possibly love video games anymore. The dessert!
Of course we can't forget about dessert. There's always room for dessert. Slice of pie, scoop of ice cream.
Oh yeah. Just like there's always room to be grateful for the simple fun and escapism of video games.
Video games don't always need to be connected to some greater meaning. It's okay to simply escape to a fantasy world where real-world problems don't exist, and you can just enjoy yourself for a while. Getting lost in the Egyptian deserts of Assassin's Creed Origins, or scouring the dangerously snow-capped mountains of Skyrim.
Or getting together with friends and playing a few rounds of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or Mario Golf, pretending I'm the ultimate skater god in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Whatever the reason, we are also thankful for video games offering us ways to escape into other worlds for some simple, time-wasting entertainment.
Oh wow, okay, I really couldn't eat another bite. Thank you for joining us on this journey of holiday gratitude. We offer our sincere, heartfelt appreciation to the video game developers and composers out there, as well as the connections we make through the video games themselves, the music, art, difficulty, as well as the fun, comfort, and nostalgia we experience while playing through them.
And of course, we can't forget about all of you. I am extremely thankful for each and every one of you who watches my videos or subscribes to my channel, or leaves a nice comment. You don't realize just how much it means to me that you all choose to watch my channel, even when you don't have to. I love making these videos, and I can't wait to make even more. So from the bottom of our hearts...
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!
Dang it.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!